have people out there, we have parents out there that might have students that are getting ready to go to college, right? So this is going to be their freshman year in college in September. I remember when Marcus left to go to college, I think I cried, I don't know, maybe a week. No, maybe not a week, but I was very upset. When Miya left, I did cry for a week. Like, I was moping around. I was so upset. I'm like, what am I going to do? This is my last child going to school. She left me. I was so upset. Even when Marcus was in 12th grade, I mean, in his senior year of college, he went to California in the fall and then went to Boston, back up to Boston in the spring. So we drove him to Boston, in January, basically, and I cried when we dropped him off, and he was a senior in college. So, it's. I just want to reassure parents out there that it does get better, and that you will kind of like, not having them around. You get used to it. You get used to it. You get used to it. So, what I want you to do is talk about your experience as a freshman. So, because there, like I said, there's parents out there that might have students that are going to college in the fall for the first time. I gave my parent perspective. It does get better. They will call you only when they want money, and that's okay. I mean, Miya does a little bit better. Marcus, didn't hear from that guy. But share your experience and what can a freshman expect?
You definitely have to know how to set your timing. And what I mean by that is you need to know when it's time to party or go out with your friends or go out to eat, and you need to know when it's time to settle down and study. Freshman year really wasn't that bad in terms of like classes, because if you do take a lot of gen eds, which in the beginning, which I recommend.
When you take a lot of what?
Gen eds.
General education courses?
In guidance educator terms. But
just in case,
But I definitely recommend taking those classes early on, because those are the easiest and those are the ones that you want to get knocked out as soon as possible.
Right.
But also freshman year, have fun. Definitely have fun. I mean, it's your freshman year. It's going to be the best year. Right. It only gets harder from there.
What do you regret about your freshman year that you didn't do?
I wish that I would have gotten involved earlier on, because like freshman year, I had my classes, but then I would go home afterwards and sleep for about 4 hours afterwards, because I like my sleep. But I wish that I would have gotten involved earlier on in different clubs, just so I would have gotten familiarized even earlier with the different organizations on campus. So.
Right. One of the things that we also discussed, and I think we talked about this maybe the beginning of, like when you came home for the summer.
What, the first year?
No, just in general. Oh. One of the things that, you might not say this, but I would say it, that developing, friends, you're going to meet friends in college, and sometimes I think it's easy to get like sucked into different cliques. And we had this conversation. Yeah. So sometimes you need to, and I would make this suggestion, you need to, just widen your social circle a little bit. So you're not as comfortable in one, and people do that in high school too, but.
That's definitely the thing I will say about, like, in terms of widening your circle. I think that I'm pretty grateful that you guys sent me to the high school that I went to for this reason, mainly because it was diverse and I was exposed to a lot of different people.
Right.
Black, white, Asian, Persian, Cameroon, like just people from all
everywhere.
Over, from different classes, different backgrounds.
Right.
And that ultimately determined me going to Temple, because it was a similar thing. And I think that being exposed to and exposing yourself to different people with different perspectives is healthy and refreshing, because that's the real world. Right.
It reminds me of the conversation we had a couple weeks ago, last month, with Gina Humber. Diversity is a verb, and she really talked about and expressed the importance of diversity in the workplace and schools and all of that.
Because that's the world.
That's the world.
That's the world we live in.
Right. And she gave a great suggestion about, because some people might not have, you might not go to a school or live in a community that's diverse. So one of the things that she recommended was go to different cultural events. And she had mentioned some of the cultural events that she attended, just so she can get an idea of what somebody else's, culture is.
Right. So you're not ignorant.
Right.
Because if you lock yourself into one particular group or one particular way of life, that's all you know, then you could come across as ignorant when you're exposed to the real world.
Right.
And that's not going to help you out.
Right, and you won't know. You just won't know.
Exactly.
Right, you just won't know.
You won't know.
And college, I think, offers a lot of opportunities for you to get that experience and experience different cultures, because there's so many different clubs out, there's all different clubs on college campuses. And every college that you go to, there's different clubs that are cultural based, that maybe you can go to their events, speak to the people that are in the club, just so, because you want to know, you want to be informed. It makes you a well-rounded individual when you experience different cultures. So
I agree. Definitely.